Greetings and welcome back to yet another episode of The Binding of Isaac Repentance. And today, before we start, I just want to show you this. Are you seeing what I'm saying? I be the greedier as Jacob and Esau. It took me 10 tries, it was challenging. I want to talk about it, but before we do, let's just start the run. And as you can see, I've unlocked a lot of the tainted characters, and Lilith is the next logical step in this wheel, I guess. So let's just do it. Let's try to unlock Tainted Lilith. Let's try to beat the true final boss finally. Every time this week I tried to record it 3 times, me beating the true final boss. And every single time I've tried it, ended up being, I would say, more challenging than I thought. Either because I was either too tired to have a regular run and I just end up dying on the 3rd floor, which is not exciting, as you can imagine. Or alternatively, what would happen is I would start the run, I would have a good run, but then eventually I just kind of run out of things to talk about. And the reason for that would be because I had a busy week, or at least I had a lot of things I wanted to do or had to do, I suppose. And because of that, for me, it was always kind of hard to focus on the things I want to do if there are things which I have to do. Not in the sense of I'm being unproductive and it feels bad not being productive, although there's a little bit of that in me. But it's more in the sense of, I need to think about all the things I have to do, because otherwise I might forget to do them, or maybe I'm gonna run out of time, or something to that effect. I think this is... okay, just stop. Stop. This is dancing with the devil, dude. It's the attacks, when they come out faster. Again, once we get used to it, it should be easier. I mean, I'm already kind of used to it, but it's pretty difficult. Anyway, I was trying to say, but just because I had to do this many things, and every time I would record, I'd be like, oh, after this video, I have to do that other thing, and then I'd be afraid, oh, if I don't start it soon, then I'm gonna run out of time, or maybe, what gets me the most is, usually I plan my weekends off, and God forbid that some of my tasks or things I have to do would spill over to the weekend. I would just feel bad, because then I wouldn't get enough rest during the weekend, and then I'd feel drained for the entire next week, and then I'd feel bad, and then maybe I wouldn't get enough sleep because I'd have to stay up late to do it. So there's just, I would say, a lot of things which are associated with it. But luckily, I managed to complete pretty much everything I wanted to today, and I was like, dude, it's time for an Isaac video. It's been long due. It's time. It's actually time to... oh, oops. It's actually time to try and beat the true final boss. Because still, after all this time, after trying for 3 or 4 times this week, every time I'm not recording, I get to the end. Every time I am recording, I just end up dying. And I guess at this point, we're just gonna see what happens. If I end up dying on this run, I'm sorry, you'll find out, because the video length is probably gonna be a lot shorter than you used to. But if I end up winning, then that's gonna be excellent as well. And I'll be honest, Isaac has been... yeah, I mean, I can't dodge that. I just took a suboptimal path. Repentance has been challenging me. I mean, as you can see, obviously at this point, maybe I'm not proficient enough to be in any position to talk about how easy or hard the game is. Got hit 5 times in the 1st floor. That's not something that should happen if you're trying to have a good run and get to the true final boss, but I won't let that discourage me. I'll just chalk it up to a bad start, and I'll move with my head up, confident enough. But yeah, Isaac, I mean, Repentance has been challenging me. It was... I kind of like it, because that means there's a lot of new things to learn and to explore. But I also have to say the hubris of knowing that I used to be pretty good at this game, and now I'm actually kind of... not bad, maybe, but I'm not as proficient as I used to be. I will say it kind of stings. It's a bit of an identity crisis. Because I feel that there were... I mean, it's mostly the damage, like if I enter a room where there's enemies and I don't know their attack patterns, I'm not gonna feel bad for taking damage. But when I'm just in a regular 1st floor, and when there's just a ton of spiders around and I take 4 hits, it feels bad, man. And I don't know if I should blame the spiders. Maybe to some extent I should, because we all know how annoying they are. Or if I maybe should like pick a different strategy, but often I'll say I do feel like maybe I'm just missing out on DPS or something like that, especially with the little spiders. The little skittering spiders, they can go straight to hell. They should have less health. This is, I will stay behind this. I'm the kind of person who does like to adapt to this to the challenge, but I do feel like the little spiders taking 2 hits to kill is too much. They should have 1 health and they should die if you as much as sneeze on them. Literally or figuratively, of course. Is there a sneezing item in this game? And if not, that's... I feel like that's a wasted... That's a missed opportunity, not a wasted... But a missed opportunity for sure. Okay. And a lot of it also... What was that? Well... A lot of it I also think is just the fact that I haven't consciously remembered what the attack patterns are of some enemies. Like I would just walk into a room, I would see a new enemy, and then I'd let my muscle memory take over. And sometimes that works, especially if it's with enemies which have predictable patterns. But there's a lot of new enemies in Isaac, in Repentance, which don't have such patterns. And honestly, relying on your muscle memory is a good way to get hit. As you probably saw, and I demonstrated during the duration of this video. But yeah, I did want to ask, like, one of the things which oh, colostomy bag. It's I like this boss. I won't lie. The visuals are great. You don't need a bit of speed. It has a ton of health. That's probably the only issue I have with it. Please don't. I'm too young to die. Get it, please, please, please. Okay, that didn't turn out well. You meanie? Don't fart in my face. Okay. Okay, just honestly, a rough start, a rough patch. I'm not losing hope. I've been wondering. This is something that I think about a lot. I mean, I thought about a lot this week. But talking about work and just how you delegate yourself to the things you have to do, I wonder if people have the same problem that I do. And every single time there's... I think I should enter from the shop, right? I mean from the treasure room. That's where I found the secret room. Yeah. Thank you. Every time I have a lot of things I have to do, what really helps me is just arranging them in a to-do list. And then, of course, just going by the to-do list. But then I have this anxiety that, so for example, let's say I didn't have the to-do list. Then I would feel bad because then I'd be like, oh, am I forgetting to do something? But if I have the to-do list, then I ask myself, oh, wait, did I forget to put something on the to-do list? So it's a never-ending, I would say, battle of trying to remember if I put everything I wanted. And it's honestly just... Wait, I only have one... Oh, of course, Lilith only has 1 red health. That's... Right. I mean, this is a good item, I know that much. It's just a matter of using it well. Yeah, okay. So I wonder if that's a commoner. Like, how do you address it if you're not... if you're someone who also uses a to-do list? Because it's honestly just... Because I feel like if you go via the path of just write everything down, then that's a sure road to madness. Because then, eventually, you're just going to be putting things down that you really don't have to, and you're just going to stress yourself over, because the list of your to-do list is going to be way too long. Certainly, there's a sweet spot of how many things you have on your to-do list, and just... I mean, what's the path? What was this path thing? And how did I not take any damage there? But there is an optimal ratio of things you think of doing and then the things you actually put in your list, right? Surely there's an optimal ratio. Nice, 4 bombs. I'll take it. I've also tried to get into the habit of just using more bombs against the bosses. It seems it's been doing its dividends, especially against some of these alternate floor bosses. Please don't. I cannot spare the health if I get hit, so... I'll appreciate it if you didn't. No, I can't get it. I can't get it. You have to respect the timer. Otherwise, you're gonna end up dying. Okay, this little cornlets. I'm really trying, because I've decided this. I mean, like I said, it's embarrassing the fact that I still don't have a win against the beast on the channel, and I always end up dying before the beast. It's actually a curse at this point. And the freaky thing is, every time I play by myself offline, I just end up accomplishing everything. And obviously, I mean, the obvious explanation there is, while you talk, it's much harder to play the game. And yeah, sure, I'll take that. I'll give myself some credit for the fact that I am talking and playing at the same time, and I should... But like, how do you even begin to address this? Heal, please. Heal. Take the health. I need it. Okay. Tears up. Decent. Actually, I'm not even gonna go in the mirror world, because there's nothing there for me. Because if I had more health, I would go to the mines, but considering that I'm kind of running low, then maybe not. The box. I will come back as soon as I get some... as soon as I get a charge. But yeah, Isaac has been rough. Not... It's no joke, Repentance. I think I remember reading... I mean, that's just... At this point. You know what? Let's go to an easier room. Maybe that. I remember reading... Edmund said that he doesn't consider Isaac to be a hard game. And... Here I'm saying, maybe it's not the hard game in the conventional sense of the word. In the sense that... Is it a hard game to complete once? No. Anybody can do it. You just need a lucky run, and you're gonna get to the end. Is it a hard game to beat consistently? I think that's a bit harder. Is it a hard game if you want to complete every single challenge presented to you? Absolutely. It's extremely difficult. Some of the challenges inside the game are just painstaking. Maybe I should just teleport out. Because I don't have the patience to fight... No, what? See. Right into another boss. Why not? Yeah, is it a hard game to complete everything? I would say absolutely. There's just a lot of challenge inherent in Isaac. Some of the new characters, some of the mechanics. I mean, even the old laws, the old keeper. That's difficult. And there's always the question of how much of it is skill and how much of it is luck. But here's the way I see it, because I feel with the hard challenges, there's always gonna be an element of luck, unless you're the best player in the world, which I don't think many of us are. There's always gonna be an element of luck. Like with skill, all you reduce is how much luck you need in order to succeed. Right? And then, if you're gonna get dealt a really bad run, you're just gonna end up losing. Because, I mean, even in this case, I'm not saying that I played well. I'm just saying that I didn't get any health. So, on that basis, it's probably gonna be really hard. Because as soon as I walk into a room which has a hard enemy which can one-shot me, there's really nothing much I can do about it. And I should just take it in stride, I suppose, and just try my best. But for sure, Isaac is not... I would say it's not an easy... I think saying it's an easy game is disingenuous. I think even saying it's not a hard game is a bit disingenuous. I have a friend who started playing not too long ago, and she amassed a -400 win streak, or lose streak, I guess. To be fair, like, she's just not a gamer in general, so that makes sense. You can't expect miracles there, but still, you know, like... To have 400 runs before you beat Mom's Heart in her case, that's a lot. Like, that's a significant number. So saying, yeah, the game is easy or not hard, maybe not fair. Or maybe I'm just saying this because I'm really struggling with some of these challenges. Health, there we go, there we go. And again, maybe I should be a little fair in the sense that I'm trying to talk while playing, so that makes it infinitely harder. And if you don't believe me, you should try. Being entertaining which I'm not sure I succeeded doing either. Or playing well while trying to be entertaining. Maybe that's a good way to put it. Yeah, not as easy as it seems. I know I make it look easy, but actually it's extremely difficult. I should be paid, I would say, 1,000 euros per video to make this, because this is such an arduous job. That's an obvious joke if maybe nobody got it. I'm not paid anything, so I don't know what I'm complaining about. I guess I'm complaining because I'm not... I mean, it's a hobby, so in that sense. This room with Incubus? Yeah, I mean, you're expecting that to happen. It's just, how do I survive? I can't, okay. The Spider, you need to come here. I cannot get over there, there's two of you, and it's just not feasible. Okay, this is good. No, you have to unsync. You have to unsync. You're too synced. This is a mess. Oh my god, dude. I'm actually gonna end up... Okay, that works. I should have just done that from the start. Okay, this is a much better plan. So now I know how to handle this room in the future. Please don't kill me. Thank you very much. There was some health back there. But let's do our due diligence and destroy the poops. Because now we have a run going. And we have some items which can make this work. So dying now would be less than ideal. Now that made me scared. Because just, I mean... Are you seeing this nonsense? And to be fair, like I did enter that room under the false pretenses. I thought I should approach it in a different way, but actually it was much easier than I thought. And that's just something that I think. So here's another. I've been watching. If I'm just gonna give a shout out. Julia Galef, I think that's what she's called. I mean that's how you pronounce it. I know that's her name. Like in my head, I know it's right, but I don't know if it's in terms of my pronunciation. But yeah, she like I was watching her videos about she does these talks and she just released a new book, and they're basically about rationality and just about how we approach everyday life and thinking. And she has this what she dubs a scout mindset versus a soldier mindset, and essentially they're just different ways of reasoning and how we perceive information or how we process information that we receive in the world. And the idea is that if you're in soldier mindset, you're going to be dealing with everything like it's an opinion, like it's a position you have to defend, right? And I've tried to be more cognizant of that, like in my everyday life, just to kind of, just as a self-experiment, I suppose. And I think this is a really good example of how that mindset might actually affect you negatively, and even in terms of a game, right? Because this is something that's underappreciated, but just the psychology of gaming, because it's so easy to fall into some traps which make games more frustrating. And in this case, for example, if I approached the previous room, and I mean, I think you could see the switch happening, and that's why I'm mentioning it, because I think it's an illustrative example. But when I entered the room, I was like, oh, this game is difficult. Like, I was just talking about that, and I had that notion in my head. And to some extent, because I'm talking out loud, I feel like I have to defend that by kind of proving the game is difficult. And the way I did that, right, in that particular room, is I was faced with an enemy, which was kind of difficult to overcome. And because I wasn't able to overcome it, I wasn't looking for a way to beat them. And then as soon as I calmed myself down and I just was like, okay, we need to think of a way to get out of the situation. And obviously the solution to that was just to shoot diagonally. And I was just kind of insisting on doing it suboptimally. And the reason for that, again, I think is because I had this notion, or at least I wanted, not to prove, but because these biases within me were kind of maybe nudging me in a direction where I was ready to give up, die, and then just say, well, this room was unfair, and this is proof that this game is hard, right? So in those subtle things, right? We don't look for solutions, when we're convinced that games are difficult. And on that account, then obviously if you're not looking for solutions, then the games are always going to be difficult, because then you're not going to know how to handle a situation. And that's where what something being difficult means, right? Because if something is difficult, it basically means I don't know how to handle it. Or rather, I would say there are two types of difficulty. One is I don't know how to handle this, and that is why this is difficult. And the other is this is difficult. I know how to handle it, but it just requires a lot of expertise. Like, it's always difficult no matter how good you are at it. And I would say those challenges are actually much rarer than the other side. So I mean, I don't know if this is true, but let's say brain surgery. Like, it's probably always gonna be difficult. It's a very, at least it seems to me, to an untrained eye and just a biased perspective, that it's something that no matter how much practice you have at it, it's always gonna have some level of difficulty associated with it. Because every brain, I assume, is a little different. You're gonna, every procedure is gonna be a little different. Like, there's no one-size-fits-all solution, so you can't really prepare for everything, I would assume. But in the case of say, games or anything of the sort, which is designed to be an enjoyable challenge, at least most of them are, I would say that in 99% of the cases, you can learn to handle them. And I think this is greatly shown by speedrunners, which basically encompass this idea of just trying to beat the game as optimally, as best as possible. So to be fair, so I feel like this was a nice instructive moment, because I felt the switch in my brain as soon as I noticed it, and then I was able to overcome that challenge. And it wasn't a challenge that I was unable to overcome. It wasn't difficult because it was actually difficult. It was difficult because I was making it difficult for myself. And now, of course, the run is going to open up, and I'm just going to prove my point. So this is just a really good example, I think, of this, and what makes games inherently challenging, I would say. And I would recommend this, like, if you're struggling with a game, what helped me in the past, like if you're someone who aspires to do some challenge, or like if you're an achievement-driven person, maybe. If you're struggling with a game, then maybe check some speedruns, and then utilize some of those things that you learn in speedruns in games, because that's the only way you're really going to be able to overcome it. And it's a very nice way to learn new things about the game you like as well, because the speedrunners, put in so much time and effort into just being good at the game, and that's what, I mean, it's fun to watch if you enjoy that type of thing, but also, like I said, it can help you tremendously. I'd also appreciate the people who have the inclination just to tackle and learn everything by themselves and don't look anything up. I almost think that's more impressive, but again, you have to admit that both is kind of in the same vein. Like, they're both people who look things up to learn, and people who like doing things on their own without outside external assistance. I think both is admirable, and I think both is a mindset that's kind of missing in our modern age. And I do like games because of that, because I feel like games are just inherently challenging, and because of that, it does attract people who are problem solvers by their nature. Maybe you're not even aware of it, but I think by playing games, especially games like Isaac, which tend to be a bit more difficult, which have a lot of moving parts, that makes you a problem solver. And a great one at that, if you're someone who actually can manage to beat it consistently. And this is what I'm trying to explain to people. This is every time you learn a challenge or something, I always equate it to learning games, like being decent at games. Like, the overlap of skills there is actually much bigger than most people would think. This is just what I felt when I started learning the piano not too long ago. But learning the piano really feels like fighting a boss to some extent. Because you have to learn first of all, there's the mechanical part. Like, you have to memorize which key to press when a certain situation occurs. Like, in the case of a box, you're reacting, but in the case of the piano, you're, I guess, predicting more than reacting. And it is a fun challenge. It is a fun challenge. And it does feel similar to the piano, and I do like that. And I do like that these skills, which are seemingly unrelated other than you're using your hands to do them, do have such a fundamental connection in just how you learn them and approach them. I'll just do this. The Hermit is... I'm gonna use the Hermit to teleport out. So this run is pretty decent at this point. The Brainworm is honestly one of my favorite new trinkets. It's like homing shots on steroids. If your aim is even remotely accurate, you're gonna be doing so well. Another thing with Lilith that's always been kind of a problem for me, that sometimes it's a good idea to stop shooting, because your bullets, because they're coming from Incubus, they can bounce enemies in different directions sometimes, and if you end up being close to the enemies, it's a good idea just to stop shooting, just so you can kind of take a breather, dodge, and then you resume shooting. Oh my god. I saw the pinlet on the left, and then I stopped dodging, and of course as soon as I did that, I got hit. Okay, nice. I do have to say, some of the new room variations, which involve these diagonal shooting enemies, and they do just feel... This is something I enjoyed about Isaac a lot, but some of these rooms, when you enter them, you kind of have to problem solve on the spot. It's a really fun challenge, because you have to know how to approach them. You just don't... You can't just enter a room. I feel in Repentance, like, I think you could do this more in the previous iterations of the game, but I feel like you just can't enter a room and just immediately, like, shoot everything inside it, unless you're really strong, I guess. You have to approach it at least a little bit methodically, and really utilize everything that you have in order to make it easier. I will take the Eraser and just erase one enemy. No reason not to. These guys, fuck them. Eraser, if you don't know what it does, it erases one enemy from the game permanently. I mean, at least until the end of the round, obviously. And it recharges once every floor. So it's actually, it seems like it would be a pretty neat item if there would be a way to recharge it, but I don't think you can pick up any batteries or anything to make it more usable, sadly. So you can only essentially just delete one enemy per floor, and that's maybe in just a regular Rebirth that would be really good, but I feel like in Repentance there's so many enemies that it just... It's not enough. Let's just put it like that. One Eraser is not enough. It doesn't seem to make a significant difference, at least not in my experience. Maybe with some enemies, particular enemies. Oh, nice. So I will take this. I will go here. That's just irony. The fact that we just beat Mom and then we get the Bible, which is pretty much useless outside of killing Mom again. But hey. Okay, so we have the negative, and we have a pretty solid run, so it does look like we're actually going to be able to defeat the final boss. Now, only one thing before I go is I would like to get a trinket somewhere. I did kind of forget about... No, please, you motherfuckers. I'm gonna play this fella, because sometimes they can give you trinkets, and I need a trinket, so I don't want to replace my lazy worm. I mean brainworm, lazy worm. I don't want to replace my brainworm, because so what we're gonna do is we're gonna use our... We need to drop a trinket in a treasure room or a boss room, because if we do that, then when we go back up, we're gonna have a red key, which of course we can use to unlock. To unlock the tainted version of the character. And I mean, if I have to drop the brainworm, I'm gonna do it, but I would prefer not to. But I don't see anything else on the floor. Maybe there's something in the shop and I just missed it. But otherwise, I don't know where we could get a trinket. I don't think skulls can drop a trinket. Polyps, I know, can drop a trinket, but skulls, yeah, no, there's no trinkets. That's upsetting. Maybe the second secret room? Can that have a trinket sometimes? I feel like it can, right? I'm not sure how often, but... Okay, maybe just here. That would make sense. Trinket. Pills. Balls of Steel. Excellent. Amnesia, I don't really care. Health up. Shot speed up. And this is... I think, so far, I didn't have much luck with pills on my videos. I mean, not that I didn't have much luck, they just, you know, they weren't good. But then sometimes you're just gonna have a run like this where you're gonna get 5+ health or maybe even 7+ health just from pills alone. And that's essential, like getting 2 or 3 items, and that's super valuable. I actually can't wait to make a follow-up video to my are pills actually bad as soon as I unlock everything in the game. That was just my bad because I looked on the other screen to see how long the recording is, and then I end up getting hit. And I do have to say another thing that's kind of been annoying me. First of all, where the hell am I? Where's the exit? Oh my god, I'm lost. Please. This is where the boss is, I think. Boss, and then you go up to get to the boss, yeah. There's one room in the boss, and then I need to go to the left. I thought I was to the left, but I guess that wasn't to the left enough. But yeah, Curse of the Blind, I think that's what it's called. The one which makes you lose how much health you have. So annoying. Especially if you get it multiple floors in a row. I think the one thing that I would change is, I mean, sure, let curses happen. But please, for the love of God, don't make them the same curse. Don't allow the same curse to appear for 2 floors in a row. That's just... It's honestly just annoying. It's not just annoying, it just feels like... Oh, there it is. Wow. It just feels samey, I suppose. Because at that point you're like, oh, I have enough health. Never mind. I was like, maybe I bet I'm gonna have a really low amount of health. But turns out no. Because for some reason this happened with Tainted Eve yesterday. I thought I had 7 or more health, and then I just ended up dying. And that felt really bad. Because I had... Oh, that's the trinket I needed. That's the trinket I needed. Yeah, I just need to get to the treasure room. I will do that. Or to the boss room, actually, it doesn't really matter. So just make it that the curses can't appear. I mean, so that the same curse can't appear twice in a row. That would make it... I would be happy with that change. What? I've never seen that. Okay, that's just... Give me a breather, man. Oh my god, there's so many of them. Please die. Please stop respawning. This should be illegal. Left or right? Right. Sister Maggie? Not... I mean, not ideal, but at least it's a familiar. So just so I don't have to go back and forth, I'll drop the brainworm there, go pick up the dim bulb, and then put it in the treasure room. And that should allow me to unlock Tainted Lilith on my way up. Woohoo! I also do want to go to the shop. And also... Oh, there's no boss, obviously, just get that. Not... Yeah. Cool, cool, cool. Everything's coming up. Millhouse. I need to hydrate. I feel like my throat is a little bit dry, so I'll do that. Just a sec. Ha! Okay, I've been hydrated a little bit. So now my throat feels better. This is something I can't get enough of, water. And I don't understand people who just forget to drink water. I cannot function if I don't drink water. To be fair, I do have a chronic throat condition, which kind of makes me have to drink more water than maybe the average person, but still, how do you do it? Please stop. Please stop. 7 cents? I'll buy it. Placebo? I mean, I will bomb the donation machine a little bit. I thought I got this guy as well. Because, I mean, another item and a 3-cent card, that seems like a good deal. Okay, go. Not bad at all. I'm not sure what I'm looking for in this card. 2 diamonds? I mean, I guess. I'll buy this as well. No reason not to, I think. then we're on our merry way. And I'm just glad I got hit 3 times instead of 7 times. That's maybe the way to look at it. Oh. Ah, this room. Using bombs here, let's just be pragmatic. We have bombs, no reason why I should save them. We end our runs with so many more bombs than we need, I think, in most cases. And if you try to pretend that you use your bombs optimally, then I don't believe you. You're a liar and a scoundrel. And you should be imprisoned for lying. Oh, actually, yeah, 1 key for 2 things. At first, I wasn't sure what my brain was looking at, but then when I looked at it more closely, it made sense. So, yay. Really, because in Isaac, at least when you go up, what matters the most is that you actually get with at least 6 health. I think 6 health is a good. You just need to be the first stage. So the dogma fight. If you can beat him with at least 6 health, that's good. Or I mean, what did I say? No, that was the wrong thing to say. If you have less than 6 health, you're gonna get healed back to 6. So as long as you can be proficient enough to be the final boss by only getting hit 5 times or something like that, you shouldn't have much trouble. And I'm not saying I'm at that point yet, but I'm saying I did get a lot of practice in. So hopefully, even with a limited amount of health or less than full health in this case, I'm gonna be able to put on a performance that's worthy of a YouTuber. I will use a bomb here. Never know when you might get another spirit heart. Actually, this is perfect. I've also been in love with fortune tellers. Once you learn the game and you need more health to go, there's always fortune tellers, which are gonna give you spirit hearts, and you can use those to do some good stuff. So if you ever see one of those in the wild, take it for a spin. Or in my case, don't. That was upsetting. I do like the mix of old and new once you actually go up. I think that's pretty cool. And sometimes you go through the beam of light and doesn't transport you up, which is good, because I ended up walking into this a couple of times by accident. Oh my god, when their heads detaches like this, okay. Demon Baby, you really scared me, because I thought his shot was one of the enemy shots. Okay, good. I wasn't ready to spare 2 bombs there, that's why I only used 1. Oh. You know why they didn't spawn? Because we erased them from the face of the earth previously. So Eraser coming in the clutch here literally killed 4 enemies for us. 8 enemies, actually. 8 enemies. That's more than most items can say, actually. I also like the fact that a lot of the active items got rebalanced in terms of how many charges they take. So let's say the Book of the Necronomicon, I think it's called, the one that deals damage to every single enemy in the room, being a 4-room charge is fantastic. There's no secret rooms. Don't look for secret rooms, man. Wait, why do I still have 2 incubi? Oh, wait, what? That's confusing. Why do I have 2 incubi? That's... what? That doesn't seem right. And it's just incubi. Did they not get... So wait, maybe when you're going up and you duplicate your incubus, it doesn't get deleted? Is that correct? No. Okay, I'm not sure what the hell happened there, but I'll take it. That means we have 3 for the final boss. Actually, maybe even more, because you get multiple charges throughout the fight. I did say I'll talk a little bit about Jacob and Esau boss fight. I mean, not boss fights. It felt like a boss fight, doing greedier with those 2 characters. But oh my god, that was a tribulation and a half. I didn't even realize this game can be this difficult. That's the right, maybe that's the right way to put it. And I mean, but that was just on another level in terms of how frustrating it was. When you feel like you can dodge something and then it turns out that one of your characters is gonna randomly... So if you don't know, I showed it, but I think... but if you don't know, Jacob and Esau are essentially a new character, which are 2 characters in one. So you literally play as 2 characters. And you have to get and build items for both characters at the same time, which of course is a challenge because you only have... I mean, the game isn't balanced around that. But what's even worse is that they can desync. And they have separate hitboxes, and as soon as one dies, the other one dies as well. So what ends up happening often is one of them will get stuck on a rock or something like that, and it's gonna desync from the other one. And they're just gonna end up taking some unnecessary damage. And when you're dodging, like, you're not thinking, like, you're gonna like scrape against this corner, and one of them is just gonna go on a journey by himself, and there's nothing you can do about it. He has his own idea, and then you're just gonna end up dying, and it's gonna feel bad because you can't do anything about it, really, other than hoping that... I'm sure, like, with time you can get used to it, to control like one or the other during the fight to kind of reposition them, but Greedier especially, because it's kind of an unbalanced game mode. Nice Bowl of Steel. Because it's kind of an unbalanced game mode, like, it already feels pretty difficult, and having that challenge on top of it is frustrating. But I did do it. It took me 10 tries or so. I got a really good run. I got a bunch of coins on the first floor, like over 150, which was extremely lucky, and then I got 2 Brimstones, and I had Mega Brimstone for an entire run for one of them, and then the other one had Tech X. Not Tech X, just regular Tech. So having a lot of range really helps as well, because you can hit enemies, the final boss through the room, like through the entire room. You don't have to like see where he's actually located. I can't rest because I have red health, so that's disappointing. There's a key, nice. Okay, and this is it. This is it. I promised you a true final boss, and it's happening for the first time out of like several tries this week. We'll play as the Lilith, as the Tainted Lilith soon, because she seems really fun. Eyeshadow, probably one of the better items. Let's sleep. Time for a nightmare, and time for me to be the boogeyman. I am the boogeyman right now. I am the one who knocks. Oh my god, go to hell. You think you're evil? You think that Dogma is the real boss? I am the real boss. You're the player character, and I am the enemy which you're trying to destroy. I have to say, Dogma, one of my favorite fights. Like, I might actually go as far as to say that this is one of my favorite boss fights in all of gaming. Just the atmosphere, the feel, just how fun the patterns are. He's not too difficult. If you forget a little bit, if you lose focus, you're gonna get hit. But truly, a really fun boss fight. Every single time I fight him is just so exciting. I didn't like the spin attack at first, but I just like every single attack this guy does. The visuals, the sounds, the design, the patterns, it's all so good. And I love it. I love Dogma. The second part is also, I mean, I have to say this is the climactic ending, but Dogma is the chef's kiss. If maybe I use some of that terminology. Okay, nice. I don't think YouTube ever saw this. So, for all those who were unacquainted, finally, you're seeing what this game is made of. And just how cool is that? I haven't gushed, but do you see there's shadows in the background, so you can see how many there are left? So 3 more horsemen, and there's a giant shadow in the middle. Who is this guy? What does he do? What are his goals? What's his agenda? I don't know. Like, what is this guy doing? I've never seen him do this. And with this much firepower, I don't think we should have any trouble completing this. And especially because I got a ton of practice against these bosses. I know their patterns in and out. War actually does do the most damage. So this is the next guy, this guy. He still ends up hitting me the most, and it's just mostly because the explosion radius is so high. And I think the secret is just to go from one side to the other really fast and just switch sides, and it shouldn't be that big of a deal. And this can also be annoying because he can be quite fast. But it's no big deal. We have so much damage. Please die, thank you. I was scared there. Give me more. More tears. This guy's not... this guy is, I would say, the most difficult in terms of... is the easiest to get hit if you lose your focus. He doesn't have the hardest patterns though, I think. But yeah, you lose focus for a second, this guy's gonna end up hitting you. Especially if there's so many tears and things on screen, you can't literally even see what the hell is going on. Hello, the Beast. Here's the three-eyed Raven. He's here, and he's not here to make any friends. I assume. I haven't tried. I just, as soon as he appeared, I started trying on him, so... maybe he does want to make friends. Maybe he's chasing me because he wants to give me a cupcake. Unlikely, but... hey. I'm not gonna pretend to know his true motives. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get hit here. That's disappointing, because that would have been almost a perfect fight if that didn't happen. Nice. And then the chase sequence begins. The Beast actually, it's himself, is not that difficult, and I do like it, because it feels like a victory lap more than anything, because you have to go through 5-6 bosses, and if he was the most difficult, that would be really frustrating. But him being a manageable, just a cinematic fight is so welcome. There are a lot of other fights in the game which are genuinely difficult, so... the Beast not being that? I think that's nice. So yeah, we did it! Woohoo! We did it! We did it! We unlocked Tainted Lilith. Here she is, and we beat the Beast on the friggin... ah, yes! So good. And because at this point I feel like everybody knows about it, I can even put him on the thumbnail so people know what they're getting into. So that was exciting. I didn't expect for me to pull it. So that means that the curse is broken. I'm not gonna lose another run ever again on video. So I'm excited for that. With all of that said, hopefully my break wasn't too long. Hopefully this was an entertaining episode. Hopefully you had a good time. I know I had a good time. And hopefully I'm gonna see you next time. Goodbye.